guys, welcome back to Spelling and Word Study. My name is Mrs. Rhoades and I'm here to get you started on Unit 30, the schwa sound. Please take a second to gather your materials. You will need your teal book open to page 185. You'll also need some colorful pens, markers, or crayons. Remember, whatever I mark on my board, you should be marking on your page. Please save room for a key as well. All right, so we have spent several weeks now talking about advanced vowel sounds. We just spent a few weeks focused on ah. We know that ah is a tricky pattern because there are so many different ways to spell it. We can use AU, AW, we can use an O. Takes a lot of practice. Well, I have another tricky sound for you today, and it is called the schwa. You will see the schwa a lot in bigger words, words with 2 and 3 syllables. You will hear that sound. Today, I want you to focus on the when it appears in 1-syllable words. Now, sometimes I refer to schwa as the gut punch sound. Imagine the sound you would make if somebody punched you in the belly, Or imagine your little brother or sister running at you at full speed and their head goes right into your belly, that sound. That is what we call the schwa. Now, today we're going to see that there are lots of ways to spell that sound. We can use the OO in words like brook and crook. We can use the UL in words like bulb and gulp. Or we can use the OUL in words like should and would. So let's start by reading our list. As we do, use your ear to listen for that sound and use your eyes to look for the vowel team or the vowel and consonant team that work together to make that sound. Here we go. Brook, bulb, could, crook, gulp, should, skull, stood, sulk, and would. Did you hear that schwa, that sound? Great. So let's choose a color and let's find the OO. We're going to put a box around the OO in brook. Okay? We're going to put a box around the OO in crook. And we're going to put a box around the OO in stood. In each of those words, the OO is making the sound. Now, this should not be new information for you. You've seen this before in words like look and book and good and foot. So now we're just using it with slightly bigger words. So over here, purple box equals OO, and that's going to make a schwa sound. OO can be tricky because it can also make a long U sound in words like moon and food, but we're not going to worry about that today, okay? When we do our activities in this unit, every time we see OO, it's going to be pronounced brook, crook, stood, cook, look, foot, hood. You get the idea. Okay, let's choose a second color. And this time, I want you to put a box around the UL in bulb. There's something about that L that changes the sound of U. We're used to looking at U followed by a consonant, and we pronounce it in words like up or fun, right? But when it's followed by L, it changes from an to an So we hear that in bulb, we hear that in gulp, we hear that in sulk, okay? Notice we're hearing the L as well. So right here, anything in an orange box is UL, but it's pronounced with a schwa, an plus l. So I'm just going to say o. Does that make sense? Good. Okay. So bulb, gulp, sulk. It doesn't matter what consonant we put after, but notice when it's U followed by L, it's going to make an O sound. Now, we also see that in this word, skull. But this time it's U-L-L, okay? This shouldn't be new for you either. You've seen this in words like bull, full, dull, okay? The U-L-L is going to make an O sound. Okay, one more pattern I want to talk about, and that is the O-U-L. Now notice when it was just U-L, we heard the L after the schwa. When it's O-U-L, that L is silent. Could, k-d. 5 letters, only 3 sounds. Same thing here with should, sh-d, only 3 sounds. Same thing with would, w-d, 3 sounds. Okay, so when we have O-U-L together, instead of making an O sound, it's just gonna say which is schwa, okay? So keep that in mind. Could, should, would. All right, what I would like to do next is go through our list. Let's make sure we know what all of our words mean. And as we go through, let's label parts of speech. So let's start with nouns, okay? Look at the word brook. That is a noun. It is a thing. It's a small stream. You might find it in the woods if you go for a walk. You see this little bit of running water. That would be a brook. A bulb is also a noun. It could be a light bulb, something you screw into a lamp or a socket to provide light. It could also be a part of a plant, like a tulip bulb, right? You would plant the tulip bulb in the fall, plant it in the soil, and then in the spring you'll have these beautiful flowers. So that is a noun as well. A crook is a noun. That is a thief. Someone who tries to cheat you or scam you out of your money would be a crook. A gulp could be a noun. A gulp is a big swallow. So, if you've been playing outside and you're hot and you're sweaty, you might come in the house and take a big gulp of water. One big sip. A skull is a noun. That's the bone. You can feel it, that hard bone that protects your brain. So bone that protects your brain. Okay, obviously your brain is very important. You can't live without a brain. So think of your skull as a hard shell that protects it. Okay, I think that's it for nouns. So over here, red N equals noun. Let's look for verbs now. Those are our action words. Here's one, could. Could is the past tense of can. Now I can tie my shoes. I could tie my shoes years ago when I was a little kid. Okay, now I can. Yesterday I could. Gulp can be used as a verb. When you take that gulp, you are gulping. So gulp is another word for sip, but big sips. Should is another verb. It describes what we ought to do. So I should do my homework. I should clean my room. Notice the word should is always followed by another action. I should eat. I should clean. I should sleep. Same thing with the word could, by the way. I could tie my shoes. I could write my name. The word could is always followed by another action. Stood is another verb. It is the past tense for stand. Now I stand in line. Yesterday at the grocery store, I stood in line. Sulk is another verb. To sulk means to pout. Sometimes when kids don't get what they want, they might sulk, right? They look sad, they put their hands together, maybe they go in their room. They are sulking, they are pouting because they are unhappy that they didn't get what they wanted. Our last word, would, is also a verb. It can be the past tense of will. I will go to the store with you. I told you that I would do it. So would has to do with will. It can also mean maybe, like I said I would go to the store if we could stop at the library first, right? Mom said she would give me $1 if I made my bed. So would has something to do with maybe or if. Notice, just like could and should, it is always followed by a verb. I would clean my room. I would go to the store. Okay. When you get to page 188, you are going to have a little practice with verb tenses. You're going to have a bunch of verbs up here, and you're going to decide if they're happening now or in the past. Now, here's a trick I tell my students. Sometimes I tell them up here, right, now I blank, and over here, right, yesterday I blank. And then you plug in your word. So if the first word is look, what sounds right? Now I look at the book. Yesterday I look at the book. Present tense, right? Look is happening right now. But let's try shook. Now I shook your hand. Yesterday I shook your hand. Sounds better here, right? Shook is something I already did. Now I shake. Yesterday I shook. So if the verb is describing something that's happening now, list it under present tense. If it describes something that already happened, list it under past tense. All right. That's all I have for you today. So good luck, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.